Hey guys, it's John from Walkthrough Code. So I'm going to talk about a couple things. I ended up testing my routes just to make sure that everything was going on, and I totally didn't even see the fact that when I was getting one, I was sending back the whole list. I mean, like, what happened there? So I replaced it just with res.send to do, and then this maintains res.send to dos and stuff like that. I feel like I changed something else. Oh yeah. So I basically, so I was getting an error if I tried to add one. The issue was basically a duplicate record because it was increments would start at one, and there was already something that was at one. So if we, I'll show you what I did. I basically removed the seeds. Um, so I said Knex migrate rollback, which basically removes all the seeds and rolls it back one. Then we can say Knex migrate and then latest. And then that will go ahead and re-migrate the database. And if we look and see now it's empty. So we can actually add stuff to the database, and I did test those routes. So we're totally good with that. Let's go ahead and move on to getting Angular set up. So let's take a look at index.html. We have Bootstrap kind of in there, which is nice. This was just if you there's a look at it really quick. Installed packages. There's something called like Bootstrap 3 or something installed. Come on now. If we go down to Add-in Bootstrap 3, that's the one that has this snippet in it. It just kind of makes it easier. Like it uses jQuery 1.11, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's just not that big of a deal for what we're doing today, at least. If I needed to go back and change it, no big deal. And generally speaking, adding jQuery with Angular is not always a great idea. Not because they would clash so much, but just because Angular has what they call JQ Lite, and it kind of already has jQuery in it to an extent. But enough blabber. Let's go ahead and get started with putting Angular in here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put ng app up here, and we're going to call it test. No, we're not going to call it. We're going to call it to do app. And then in the body, we are going to say ng controller. And we're going to use, let's call this main control. And so now we have to get the Angular CDN. So let's go Angular CDN. So we're just going to get, we'll grab 1.6.1, that's fine. I'm going to take the non-minified version just because the errors are much easier to debug here. So below these, we'll go ahead and put script source of this. So now we have Angular. Let's go ahead and test it. And so we'll create an input of type text and an ng model of let's say hello, and then we'll put hello down here. Let's create a file in public called app.js, and then we will in index close these because they're just taking up space. Let's go ahead and add app.js below Angular app.js. Okay, so in here, Now we have this all tied up to Angular. However, we need an app.js to declare everything and initialize everything. So here, because we're gonna have a small enough to do app that we're not gonna have multiple files in here. We'll just keep one app.js for now at least. So we'll say var app equals angular.module. And if we go back, we see our ng app says to do. This is also our Angular module. So we're saying Angular module to do app. And then the second parameter in this initialization is a list of dependencies that we have. Commonly used dependencies would be things like UI router, UI bootstrap, things like that. But for now, we're just going to leave it like this. Then we'll go down and say app.controller. And if we look and see what we called it main control. So let's go in here and we'll say main control. And then our second parameter is a callback. This array thing, some people use it, some people don't, and we're not going to be minifying this, so it's not that big of a deal, but this is kind of the way that they do it nowadays. So we're going to use scope, and then the second parameter is going to be a function with scope in it. And then we will set scope.hello to world. And so if we save that, and let's run our node server.js. Now we have this working. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now we have this working, and this is directly tied to the body now. So we have scope.hello, and then every time something changes, it interpolates and basically takes the value here and puts it over here. I think that's going to be enough for this video. In the next video, we'll start building the Angular in its true form for the to-dos, and then we'll see what happens from there. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Have an awesome day. Thanks so much.